Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlin Perkins and Jim Fowler. Most of us have seen movies or television shows where sharks have been portrayed as marauders who prey on unsuspecting swimmers or smaller fish in the sea. But many Wild Kingdom episodes illustrate how sharks and other predators are an important part of the food chain in our underwater world. Oceans cover 70% of our planet, yet we still have much to learn about this important ecosystem. Modern technology has enhanced our ability to study the ocean with minimal disruption to their habitat. Human involvement in recent legislation to protect underwater creatures allow for their resurgence. There's more good news to come in the Wild Kingdom, so sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom right here on RFD-TV.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha, the people who pay.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. The shark has held an awesome position in the history of the world. Only recently has man been able to study sharks under the objective eye of science. The angel shark holds a particular place among the more than 250 species of his family. Part ray and mostly shark, he is a transitional link in an evolutionary chain dating back over 350 million years. Tom Allen and I were recently invited to join an expedition whose purpose was to gather some angel sharks in order to study their behavioral patterns under controlled conditions. Our expedition began here at Marineland of the Pacific, where we sailed for the open sea aboard the capture vessel Geronimo. Soon we are sailing through the deep blue water of the Pacific, approaching our rendezvous point off a small island where angel sharks are known to abound. As the Geronimo drops anchor over the search area, each member of the expedition prepares his equipment for the dive. On this expedition, we're with Gary Reese from Marineland of the Pacific, and the expedition leader, Dr. Robert Gibbon, Director of Research at the University of Southern California Marine Laboratory. First, we intend to search for the bedding grounds of the angel shark. In order to cover as much area as possible, Tom will be using a diver propulsion vehicle, while I accompany Dr. Gibbon searching a smaller area with conventional diving gear. One final check of the breathing apparatus, and we are ready to dive. Captain Frank Brocato indicates that everything is in readiness, and as soon as the diver propulsion vehicle is lowered, Tom hurries to join us in our descent. The eerie majesty of the underwater world surrounds us as we search the ocean floor. The angel shark prefers to bed on a sandy bottom and is usually found in the vicinity of rocks such as these. While Dr. Gibbon and I work this area, Tom will make a wider sweep.
The kelp growth in this area is rather heavy, cutting visibility to a minimum. To my left is a rocky outcropping and an underwater cavern leading back under the huge rock formation. If the floor is sandy, this might be a quiet haven for the angel shark. The roof of the entrance is very low, making it a tight squeeze. There's a movement. It's a moray eel, peering from a crevice across the cave. These ferocious animals will snap at anything that strays too close to their lair. My light also disturbs an octopus who becomes confused and moves toward the moray. The octopus was very lucky. Almost hidden here in the rocks is a horn shark. These sharks rarely grow more than 4 feet in length. They get their name from this horn-like growth in front of their first dorsal fin. The horn probably helps protect the younger sharks from being swallowed, or it becomes more blunt as the shark ages. Being a nocturnal forager, this cavern has offered him a resting place during the daylight hours. A Garibaldi guards its territory at the rear of the cavern. The bottom of the cave is too rocky. There are no angel sharks to be found here. The lamp on this diver propulsion vehicle makes it easy to retrace my course through the close confines of the cavern and return to the open sea again. Those are blacksmith fish, one of the items on the angel shark's menu. Ahead, there's a California sea lion, but he doesn't see me. There's a rock-strewn sandy bottom ahead, and now the sea lion has returned. In looking me over, he has disturbed what we have been looking for, an angel shark, which now works its way deeper into the sandy floor. I want to see its outline better before I take hold of it. With its well-camouflaged back and low profile, I could easily have missed it had it not been disturbed. Unlike most sharks, whose fins are fairly small and rigid, the angel shark's fins are large and wing-like. The underwater propulsion vehicle now proves its worth, enabling me to match the speed of the moving shark and to observe it closely as it glides across the ocean bottom. It seems totally unconcerned by my presence, apparently looking for another bedding area. There, he's settling back again on the bottom. I can see now why they're so hard to find. The coloring of the shark blends with its natural background. Not normally being an excitable animal, it can spend the daylight hours resting in relative seclusion. I would like to have one more close look at his camouflage before I rejoin Marlin. This area looks like an ideal habitat for angel sharks. We are sure to find more here.
With the Geronimo anchored over the area where Tom had found the angel sharks, we prepared to make our descent to the ocean floor. We were all encouraged by Tom's report of the angel shark he had found. Captain Brocato has the Geronimo in position, and we waste no time in getting back into the water. Dr. Gibbon decided the best way for us to capture the sharks resting on the bottom would be to grab them by hand and wrestle them into the capture cage, which could later be raised to the surface by the Geronimo's crew. The danger in capturing a live shark by hand will be minimized by the fact that our quarry is equipped with rows of short teeth rather than the large tearing teeth of some of his relatives. Our extra heavy wetsuits will withstand the short teeth, but unfortunately will do little to protect us against the powerful jaws of the angel shark. The sea lions in this area are unafraid of man. It will be necessary to place the capture cage firmly on the ocean floor to ensure its stability against the thrashing of the captured sharks. I will operate the door on the capture cage while the others conduct the search and capture mission. This procedure is necessary because the diver with the shark will have his hands full just getting it into the cage. Our sea lion has returned with a friend. These playful mammals are often used as performing circus seals. This sandy bottom over which they are playing is an ideal locale in which to conduct our search for the angel sharks. Not far away, Tom seems to have spotted something.
This is near the place where I discovered the angel shark. There is a movement in the kelp in front of me. A swell shark. This one has been tagged by Dr. Donald Nelson from California University at Long Beach. It swells or enlarges by swallowing large quantities of water. If held above the water, it will swell by gulping air. This is an extremely passive defense mechanism, for its muscles are so distended when swollen that it is perfectly harmless. Although these nocturnal animals have no enemies that are known to still exist, it is felt that their capacity to swell was originally a defense measure to prevent their being pulled from rocky crevices in which they like to take refuge, or to increase their size to prevent their being swallowed. My mask is fogged, but I'm sure there is an angel shark just below. The outline is faint, but if I clear the sand away, I can see where the head of the shark is.
Tom has his hands full, and Dr. Gibbon has found another shark. Now it is Gary Reist who has spotted a well-camouflaged outline in the sand. The trick is to keep the head of the shark under control and its powerful jaws away from you. Dr. Given is first to reach the cage. This is exhausting work for the captors, as the shark is a very strong competitor. There, our first prize is safely stowed away. Now Tom brings in his shark. That's 2 in the cage for these very important studies. Gary Reist is still having trouble. Well, that's 1 shark that will not become a part of Dr. Given's study. With the 2 angel sharks safely in the capture cage, we went in search of the rest of the sharks needed to complete Dr. Given's study. Waiting at the capture cage would be a monotonous job were it not for the constant investigations of the sea lions. They're a common sight in this part of the Pacific. Their range extends all the way from Chile to the Alaskan coast. In the area where the sea lions were playing, there is a dim outline of an angel shark. My friend returns. His assistance is not needed. Being temporarily distracted by the sea lion, I took my eye off the form I'd seen, and that's all it took to lose it. Gary Reist and the others are no help. Wait a minute, there it is. I'm afraid that will take a little practice. We need a total of 4 sharks. There goes Tom after number 3. It's always best to make sure the business end of the shark is under control. I'd better get back to the cage before Tom does. He won't be able to handle both the shark and the cage door. That's 3. Good work, Tom. Our sharks aren't happy about their predicament, but they will add valuable information to man's increasing understanding of the ocean. Then they will be released. We need 1 more shark. Dr. Given has one by the tail. That's too bad. That's 3 that have escaped. But Dr. Given feels that the tail grab is still the best way to capture a shark. It looks like he's in for a fight. As long as he keeps him in this position, he's all right. But if that shark moves up and severs an air hose, Dr. Given is in trouble. That's our last one. With our capture cage door secured, the other divers join me for our ascent to the Geronimo. Our air supply is nearly gone, and our bodies are heavy with fatigue, but we are pleased with our fine catch of angel sharks. They will make excellent specimens for Dr. Given as he pursues his most important work. Even my constant companion comes to the surface to bid us goodbye and to make our underwater excursion complete. Aboard the Geronimo, Frank and Benny have received our signal and are busy hoisting the capture cage. As we surface, we see the cage is already alongside the ship, and Benny is attaching the winch to haul it aboard. With a helping hand from Frank, I'm glad to be back on board the Geronimo and to enjoy the crisp salt air in my lungs again, while the crew retrieves the equipment from the other divers. Gary Reist is the last man aboard, helping balance the capture cage for the ship's crew as it carries our valuable cargo to the holding tanks amidship. Dr. Given is particularly concerned that the sharks might have harmed themselves thrashing about in the close confines of the capture cage. But we quickly see that no serious harm has been done and that the sharks are in good condition. This one has lost some teeth biting Dr. Given's tank, but new ones will replace the old from a never-ending supply in the shark's mouth. On his fins, we find well-developed rasp-like protrusions called denticles. Smaller denticles cover the entire body of the fish. There are also some parasites. For the trip back to Marineland, we place our sharks in the holding tank, knowing full well that the scientific world will be richer because of our search for the angel shark. This capture expedition gave Dr. Given a valuable supply of angel sharks with which to conduct his important research. It is through the endeavors of scientists such as Dr. Given that we can acquire sufficient data to better understand the animals of our undersea world. Careful scientific inquiry into the behavioral patterns of the shark will supply additional information for the conservation and protection of our marine life. This is just one more phase of man's continuing exploration and study of the inhabitants of this planet. Through work such as this, we can achieve a better perspective of all the members of the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha, the people who pay, has presented Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha, helping people find Medicare solutions for over 50 years. To learn more about plan options or how to protect your kingdom, contact us today.
Mutual of Omaha. Protect your kingdom.